Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever all of you are today. Welcome to the She, but no, there was, welcome to the She Show. How is everyone? How are you all doing? How is everything with you? How has your week been? So much stuff has been happening this week. And I've not seen you for so long. Mulimutia, mbadde mbasaba nga tetunakola kintu kyonna. Just tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the She Women are here tonight, today, this evening. We are here in your living rooms or in your cars or wherever you are. Give me a hello. Hi everyone. Hi YouTubers. How all those who watch us on Facebook. I think we also are on Twitter. So we've got a new Twitter family as well. And all of those who also stream on our website, welcome also to the She Women Show. She stands for substantial, heroine, emancipated. You know, those things are so important. They're so important. It's so important that you know who you are as a woman. You know what you stand for. Sichangu okumanya choli ng'omukazi kitwala time era bw'okula n'otuuka age zange by the time w'otuuka mu your late 30s you now know who you are. You now know what you want. You now know what you won't accept. And one of the things that we want to encourage our women who watch on the She Show is to be assertive, strong women, to be able to express yourself the way you wish. Or kubanga orina, or what's the word? Or kulem, or creating atmosphere, or creating environment, to be able to express yourself. Us women, we're very emotional beings. We are very emotional beings. Every week, the family, the UNM family, about teaching about emotional intelligence. And it's very important. And we've been talking about this thing called emotional intelligence. But you see, it takes emotional intelligence. It takes a real woman to be able to know how to handle her emotions and to handle herself. Kakati tuli mu revolution. Ekyo njagala kibajjukiza abakazi. We are in a revolution. We are women who are in a revolution. And therefore, we need to be assertive. We need to be strong. We need to know what we are talking about. We need to have knowledge. I would like to apologize for us being late. But you know that it's not just me always here by myself. I have my She Women who are going to join me. They can also introduce themselves. I just want to say welcome to the She Show. This show is all about you, how you. So let's introduce my ladies on how do we feel today. Get yourselves ready, all of you UNNians. Irene, hello.
Hi, Sarah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, hi everyone, and welcome to the UNN. My name is Irene, and I'll be here with you all, guys. Yeah, thank you, Sarah.
We've not seen you for so long, Irene. We've not been doing the program. We've missed a couple of weeks, and then you've not been around for a while. So can you please talk to the ladies. This is the forum. How do you feel? What's been going on with you? Where have you been? The ladies need to hear about your substance, your heroin, your emancipation. Tell us about Irene again, because we need to let the people know the glory of why you are here and you want to be part of this revolution.
Irene, I've been busy at work, but I'm back to empower the girls, women, our parents. I'm a mother. I'm also a leader. So being a woman, I'm out there also trying to advise other ladies on how to become leaders, become business women, and yeah, walk around that. So we are here together, all of us, to share ideas. No one is perfect, so we're all going to be learning from each other. Yeah, I'll be here for as long as I can. Thank you all.
Oh, and just as we were starting there, thank you, Irene. Irene, you've not been around actually when we've been talking about the COVID-19 that's been going on and the sagas that's been happening in Uganda. So have you been watching the news? What are you thinking? What's on your mind when it comes to the situation and this so-called lockdown that we're on? Hello, Sophia. As Irene finishes, Sophia's going to come and introduce herself.
Well, I've been watching the news regarding the COVID in Uganda. It's not looking so good. And with the doctor who has recently been injecting people with vaccines that are not approved with the government, I think Uganda is currently in a limbo with the vaccines and the COVID happening, being that people on lockdown. Guys are not working, and there's a lot of emotions going around. So, yeah.
I can imagine, right?
Yeah,
Sophia!
yeah.
Everybody, welcome Sophie, our poet.
Hello, everyone.
Listen, Sophie is going to introduce today's pick because she's one of our S.H.E Women ladies and she's a star. So Sophie, you're going to tell us all, introduce yourself, and you're going to tell us about today's show.
My goodness, Sarah, I am not a star at all. But thank you for giving me that accolade, I suppose. But bana abachala mwenna muli mutya mbalamusizaako mbagala nnyo mwebale kubeera ku S.H.E, and I'm hoping to know kwegamba nga bwe tuli bwe twakitandika ekintu kino nga bwe tuli mu revolution tulina okwejjukiza nti tuli mu revolution, twagala kukyusa embeera, twagala kukyusa nga bwe tulina okubeera e Uganda, twagala kukyusa ng'abaana baffe bwe balina okubeera gye bujja mu maaso. Tubalamusiza nnyo mwebale kubeerawo, abo bonna abalumizibwa mbasaasira, abalumizibwa mu mitwe, as in your mental health, I empathize. Abalumizibwa physically, I empathize. Abafiiriddwa because of COVID ne because of the junta mbasaasira. Abakyala abazaala abatalina we bazaalira, abazaalira mu mbeera embi, abaana abatasoma kubanga government creating embeera okuba nti mutuli enslaved like slave. Mwenna mbasaasira mbalamusiza mwebale kubeera ku S.H.E, and we have a lot more coming. We have plans that we want to be able to interact with you on a daily basis, on a regular basis, we talk to each other about what's really hurting us. Kubanga ekyo bwe tuba twogera buli kiseera nga twogera ku bitukwatako ng'abantu ng'eggwanga, only then we can change our mindset. Tesobola kuchenga our mindsets nga tuli mu twebiste, I suppose nga tuli mu nyumba zaffe ffeka nga tetu exchanging what exactly is going on for us and how you feel. The main thing is that how do you feel and how are you going to change the status quo by how you feel. How you feel should be able to impact you so that you can change your future. You can change your now and future. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Actually, mbadde sibuuziza abanyankole muri mutya, abanubi kabarasun. I think Swahili's habari. Maybe Irene can.
Yeah, habari.
Habari.
Yes.
You know, this is a platform where everyone is welcome. So welcome everybody. Yes.
Karibu.
Yes. Karibu, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where is our host then?
Sarah's here.
So our host, Jolie, probably not. But yes, I suppose, Irene, we can just, keep chit-chatting until, we sort of have a intro video. I just wanted to, I suppose today, really concentrate on the feelings of a woman, the feelings of anyone who is really hurting, who's hurt by the situation, who's hurt by this continued suffering, injustices, unfairness, nepotism, oppression, discrimination, just because there's one family that's just decided that everything Uganda owns, or every natural resource, or every opportunity that Uganda has, goes to one family. And this one family is impacting the rest of us. So it's only the minority versus the majority. And I think we just need to remind ourselves every single day, we need to shout about, we need to scream about, we need to bring to the forefront and the conversation that we matter, that the common man matters in Uganda. The common man, I mean woman and man and everybody else, the common man matters, and we need to change our status quo because it's not good enough. It's not good enough that we take things as they are. Yeah, we need to revolutionize ourselves. Our mindset needs to change. That's the main thing that I'm really, big at, changing our mindset, because that can only remove the fear from us into action, because words without action are meaningless. So if we remove the fear in our thinking, that there's a syndrome, there's a word for it, but imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
That thing that tells us that you're not good enough.
Sits at the back of the mind, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you say? I know you're not Ugandan, but you were a friend of Uganda, and there's so many people who are friends of Uganda, and they feel for us.
Yeah, I just think the injustice in Uganda that has brought about fear in the country, that no one is allowed to voice their opinion in whatever is happening. So we are all cooped up and so much stress because we don't know when change is coming. If you look at countries that fight for the best or for the better of their country, people fight for it, but also there's that fear of who are we going to lose in this fight. So it's either we sit and neglect this and just let it be and get used to being mistreated in this way, or do something different. But in such a situation at the moment, during this pandemic, so many of us are stressed out. Some are suicidal. People don't have work. You don't know what you're going to eat the next day. If you're fine, you're fine. Maybe you have a job that people really don't have. In a situation whereby the country where I live in, currently everyone has access to getting injection, whereas in Uganda, it's something that is of the opposite, according to what I read, to an extent whereby someone has to go out to offer to inject almost 8,000 or something of that sort, for people to guarantee themselves that they are okay. So the government is also not bothered about the people. They're not concerned of what's happening. Okay, they might be concerned for the, what about the common man on the street, the middleman, or I don't even know how to put it. But being a woman, how does being a woman makes you feel, and how does being a woman makes me feel in such a situation? Does it make you feel powerful? Does it make you feel like you can't do anything? What is there for you? You know, how are we valuable to the society? How are we reaching the people who are dying at the moment? What are we doing? Apart from having the nurses who are out there putting out their health out to try to rescue people, is the government doing so much? Are we women doing so much? You know, we can't just take a backseat anymore. We have to be out there. It's not like in the olden days whereby the Bible portrays a woman to be submissive to. It's I'm not gonna judge beliefs, but we cannot use the old stereotype to describe the current woman of today. We have to also reach out and speak. We can't be in anymore and just pretend it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. While our kids are dying, while we are going out of it, we don't have jobs. There's no one to employ us. Who is empowering women? How are we getting jobs? How are we creating? How are we relating to the outside world? Let's talk, women. How are you feeling? Yeah? Yeah. How are we feeling? Are you seeing are you going to maybe like I was talking to Sophia last week, we're talking about are people really speaking to each other, you know, emotionally? You know, based on the topic that we had the previous week on emotional intelligence, are you speaking to someone? You know? So if we look at
go on.
Yeah, Sarah, go on.
Now, I was just going to say, just to you know, sort of hone in on your point where you were saying that it's, you know, we can't just sit back and do nothing. We must do something. We must do something. And we're not saying that, you know, we need to go sort of everyone sees you with a placard on the street marching down and demonstrating. For instance, I want to refer back to yesterday's show when Paul and Dr. Katega were talking about how each of us can do something by starting with thy neighbor. I've talked about this in the previous show. We need to start by, you know, caring about the neighbor, because we're not going to be able to change the bigger picture of all of us being in a good place, good content, you know, environment whereby as a whole, Uganda as a people, we care for one another. The issue that's probably putting us down and making us stagnant is because each individual or a lot of individuals are the care is about taking for themselves. Me, myself, and I. It's all about I will take for myself. I will take as much as possible. So when the leaders come into power, they want to stay forever, you know, but nothing is forever. Things have to change. Life is fluid. Yeah, exactly. We go back to this dynasty, and no, we don't want a dynasty. A dynasty is going to only make the common person a slave. And if we don't change that status quo, we don't change the current narrative whereby, you know, that, you know, a certain group of people want to create this dynasty and amass themselves in all these riches and make the common person really, really poor. And this is intentional. It's intentional. So let us, if we want change, if we're saying change needs to happen, let us start with ourselves. I am doing something. I'm doing something because I am here. I'm present. I'm showing up. I am doing something because in the background, I will be maybe supporting a woman who is maybe, you know, not in a position to be themselves. I am somewhere maybe paying someone's school fees. they're not necessarily my children, but I am taking a responsibility to say that I have been given the opportunity to be in the diaspora and to have a different opportunity from the person on home ground. How am I using that opportunity? Am I using it to amass myself in, in material things? Am I using it to amass myself in properties? You hear about, what saddens me is that you hear about a lot of us, honestly, as in Africans. Irene, just 1 second. I just want to remind our viewers that I'm intentionally speaking English because I'm communicating with Irene, and Irene does not understand Luganda. So kubanga Irene atuwadde opportunity n'agamba jja twegatteko nga mukwano gw'abakyala b'e Uganda, mukwano for the sake of the African woman, kyenva njogera English instead of okwogera just Luganda. So munansonyiwa abatulaba, I'm hoping tina at least muwuliramu kye muwuliddemu ne mutwala kitwala. Oba oyina mukwano gwali awo asobola okunnyonnyola bw'oba towulira Luzungu, naye nga ndowooza nti nno njogera as clear as possible, njogera as clear as possible, osobole okukola ki okuntegeera Olugangereza kati Olugangereza sobola sisobola kwogera Lugangereza kubanga nina Irene ate tawulira Kiruganda, so munansonyiwa bannange, munansonyiwa. Naye so going back on the point of I'm just thinking as Africans, most of the time we come away from our homeland, our motherland, we go abroad and we start working. When you start work, you're thinking about amassing yourself in property, in material things. And I'm talking that from a personal experience because that's what has been happening in my life. That's what we've been doing. We try to work for ourselves, me and myself. Maybe probably not very true but the majority of us, because yes, I have been caring for my extended family back home. I've been paying school fees for people that are not even, a brother or sister. But at the same time, the majority of the time, we actually work to accumulate things. We do not necessarily work to probably to see the bigger picture, to leave a legacy.
But Sarah, just in that, let me cut you off. Do we still need to be traveling abroad to go work? What's the problem with we women or we as Africans just being in our country and working and boosting our economy? Is it not about time we all stick back? That's why we're out here trying to say, okay, if we make it better, are we all looking to going back? But is it okay for us to keep traveling out to fend for our family? I mean, the government is not doing fine. So even we that live out here, are we happy to be separated from our family?
No, we definitely are not. Yeah, we definitely are not. And the point I'm trying to make, as just to confirm what you're saying is that, or your argument is that, no, we do not need to be going abroad. We want to better ourselves whilst we're still on home ground. But the reason why we're actually abroad is because the socioeconomic, political situation back home and environment has not created the environment which is conducive enough to nurture and develop us. So we are frustrated. So for instance, the young people that go to the Arab world, I was looking at the current news. In fact, it was in the Daily Monitor, the news just this week. Daily Monitor, I think it was the 9th yesterday. I read somewhere about the modern day slavery and trafficking. This is a topic that we, the S.H.E Women, have taken on, and we want to really be able to make an impact on the young people or the young women.
Diaspora killings,
who are in the Arab world, because we are not just good enough for that. We are not good enough
it's
to be
been
made.
happening. It's been happening for some time, Sophie,
Oh yeah.
whereby the women are being recruited. Even now, it's still happening, whereby
Yep.
they know the danger, but they want to take
Yep.
the risk. The Middle East doesn't care about Africans. They don't care. So you go there, work for them, be a slave. They will kill you, they will bury you, or they'll send you home dead. They don't care. It's happening. But we Africans, do we have to continue being slaves? I mean, working in people's home? Is that why we were born? We have to be following our mommy's footsteps on being the house cleaners and so sort of. It's so frustrating. It is frustrating.
Yeah, and and that's what we're saying. No, it's not okay anymore. And this should be the reason, really, the reason why we should fight, the reason why we should stand up, we should speak up, we should speak on it every single day. We should challenge the government. We should challenge this, that it's not okay anymore. We are not born just to be slaves. We are not born just to be maids. We are not just good enough to cleaning someone's bum, to cleaning someone's plate, to clean someone's, to make someone's bed.
Look after their kids,
Exactly.
while you abandon your own kids. Yeah.
We're queens and kings. I mean, we need to respect ourselves. And I'm not saying that we're not respecting ourselves because we've chosen to go to the Arab world to be made. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that we need to respect ourselves and say, no. We are not just good enough for this kind of job. We deserve better.
Government needs to sponsor the young people who are going into the university, send people abroad to study. We can also still study in our country, yes, but travel for a better job, not traveling for a job whereby you're going to clean people's bums, I mean, the first thing, I haven't been to other parts of the UK, Sophia, but I'll tell people who, first of all, get there, the first job they land on is to do some like looking after the elderly ones, like aftercare, all sorts of stuff. And you can slave for that for 10 years, without you knowing where's your direction. At the same time, you have to support family back at home. But is that what you're meant for? I mean, being out here, it's not a matter of being a queen. You actually have to work your way through it. So what's difficult in people being back at home and working on making the country being better? One man for many years has stopped women from moving, has stopped people from feeling better. People keep running. And actually, Africans are constantly immigrating, moving. We're looking for countries whereby there's free education, that there's the things come freely. There's where we can access food, where we can access free education. We keep moving. The country, people are leaving. The elderlies are being left alone. But why are we running? It's about time we stop running. I mean, if you're watching the news, recently the Haitian president was just shot. We weren't really focused on Haiti, but if you dig in, you'll find people are extremely tired. The South African former president has been arrested. Why? He's got to answer for his own crimes.
Yeah.
Is Museveni ready to answer for his own crimes today? No, he's going to rule till. But we women, are we ready to stand? Are we ready to seek solutions for our problems? Are we ready to speak to the women abroad? Are we ready to speak to the women in other African countries and say, how do you guys do it? Let's do it. Let's speak. How do you guys organize a march? I mean, it's really long overdue. What are we going to do? There's been a movement currently whereby the African women is starting to create products and actually selling it in between countries, but we haven't really started exporting those products back to Africa, where it's saying women are creating, let's say, cell phones, women are creating bags, women are creating cups, it's a start of something. How are we empowering each other? How are we getting ourselves out of poverty? How are we saving up to make sure that we overthrow the government that is oppressing a woman of today?
Exactly. I mean, the most important thing is to sort of take our plight, as the topic for us today is about how I feel about my plight. The plight is the problem. How I feel about my problem, my situation of being abroad in someone's house, being a maid for years and years, and I don't see an end to sight. How do I change the working 24 hours, the long hours, the not eating well, the not eating? For instance, we don't have a good diet. We don't eat, fresh produce. We don't have a good diet because wherever we are living in unnatural environments whereby everything is either freezer or you take it from the shop, from the supermarket. When did we stop going to the land and saying, you know what? I can eat fresh greens. I can eat fresh mangoes. If we don't change the status quo, this is the life that we want to live for our children. Imagine that our generations to come are going to be living out of supermarkets, out of packaged foods, and yet we have all the land of abundance and the unbelievably good weather. One day to just say, I have, all the fruits of my labor, as in I have worked in the diaspora for so long. One day I am sitting on my balcony with the sun. Imagine, how you would feel, having to wake up every day and saying, wow, okay, I'm walking into my garden. I'm just going to take some fresh greens. I'm just going to go, to pick a mango, pick a fruit and just wash it and eat. It's not a supermarket. How would I feel just living in amazing fresh air? Imagine all that. Sort of imagining how your future can be is the reason why we need to fight, is the reason why we need to change the status quo. It is not good enough. And of course, fighting is not about, okay, you physically go and do that fighting. It's about, how about contributing to the revolution? If people like the UNN has come up to say, look, we are here, we want to put out the message, we want to come together as maybe forming a government or whatever, we need financial contribution. Why wouldn't you say, you know what, I'm just going to put my 2 pence towards this cause? It doesn't have to be about money, but it can be something like this. We are here speaking and wanting the message to be out. Okay, the message to be out there, and we say let our plight be our hope. Let our plight be our hope. Let's challenge the status quo. And I think we do have a video ready just to, just remind people's, like why we're here and why we need to change the status quo. Okay, our producer is saying we're not ready yet. I will continue. But yes, I am 100% with you. We need to be able to sort of get together as communities, empower each other through speaking, through conversations. And we can only do that through conversations. Thankfully, we have social media. And here we are, as women, we're putting our faces there, we're putting our time, we're putting our faces. Time. Yeah, exactly. We're putting our time and we're being brave. We not to fear. I just like to remind some women out there if you're feeling like you don't have the confidence, you feel like, how can I do this? You don't necessarily have to be in the forefront, but if you're thinking of doing something and you want to, and you have that fear, you can only start. Before all of this, the only thing that drove me to put my face out there, to come out and say, I must speak up because I am passionate about humanity. I'm passionate about justice. It is not okay that someone who is ill is carried to the hospital through a wheelbarrow. There was a video that came out. Yeah, there was a video that came out. This woman, I believe, is supposed to be a teacher. In fact, a teacher. This is it's almost like this is the foundation of our nation. We are all teachers, because if we're all parents, we're all mothers, or even if you're not, but we are all teachers in the first instance. The child has, you know, the child gets a teacher from the family in the first instance. We're the first teachers.
Yeah.
So let no one, say to you that only in the formal classrooms the child gets an education. Not at all. Okay, not at all. So we're first teachers, and then we move on. But imagine someone, poor health. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they got ill because of COVID or whatever, but they were being carried by a wheelbarrow. Is that dignity? How is
That's
that
really sad.
dignity? When their children are taking helicopters or private jets to go into other hospitals.
Yeah.
How is that? How is that fair? No, 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 no. We're not going to change that. But and Sarah is back. Hi, Sarah. Welcome back. Sarah, is she back or not?
It's a bit muted there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
just
guys. Hi, guys.
Hi, Sarah.
I don't know what's wrong with my internet today. I'm just having a problem. How am I sounding? And how is my internet? Am I back on? Can you see me? Can you catch me up? Catch me up. Catch me up, Sophie. I found you in deep thought.
You know, we're really talking about generally like the current situation of, of Uganda and the woman's role. Really, it's just talking about the different issues whereby we have, us having to go abroad to work. But what we're going to do abroad is not necessarily what we would like to do. You know, being a maid is not exactly how you see your life, your future, how you'd like to earn a living. Being abroad doing just, elderly work, for instance, in the case of UK, whereby a lot of us have come in the UK and have had to, be forced into sort of an employment, which is not necessarily what exactly we wanted to do. And this is all lack of opportunities back home. And who is making the situation back home frustrating, whereby there's no opportunities. It's just one family, a dynasty, wanting to just simply frustrate us.
Control everyone.
Control everyone and frustrate us through making us skillless, I would say. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
That's just generally that's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Have we caught up? Have we played our fans and the audience the "How Do I Feel" video? Was it ready yet?
Not yet. It's not. Yeah.
Okay. So we just continue on with the show. Well, I think Sophie and Irene, you're women who could really speak to the people and our women about the thing, our community and our social environment. I think all of us on the platform as mothers, we're mothers, we've been wives, we've been children ourselves. The beauty is that we've been able to we've lived in Uganda and we've lived in diaspora. I know myself, I've not had the God's honest truth, the real opportunity to live in Uganda as I grew up in my childhood. And I only remember when I was a kid and I was a child.
Yes.
And I was a child. Kati when I couldn't in the UK, poverty and life, there is a bit of hardship because I was growing up in a single mother home in the UK. But then I had the ngandimo kulko katinga nkuze ngate kati ntegera embera jetubera in Uganda. I had the opportunity to be able to come on to go in Uganda and see the life, rich and the poor. I got the opportunity of Muyenga in a nice house in the family and stuff, but I also have lived in a hogala. in Kabalagala. I've also lived in a hostel, Gankwata border, or Kuva, you know, from A to B. I've also lived in an apartment. Why am I this? I'm saying all of this to say that Uganda is a very beautiful country. That's the truth.
Indeed.
When we've come on holiday, and I've come on holidays, but I've also come and stayed in Uganda for like 3-4 years. You know, Sophie will testify. Unity, jetu sobola ngabachala okuberanga okumaking a difference. Embera ye Uganda tekukiriza inze when najja Uganda nali njagala kutandika business as a property magazine. I wasn't able to do that. So I did it, but I had to pay people off. I remember somebody on one of the shows was talking about just registering a company system where you years. So up until government to excuse me, institutions is on now. Everything needs changing from the bottom up. A woman or muntu wawansi because or money into your collar, and you know that you work, man. Okay, you see, some people have said my network is bad. Lord have mercy. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
you're fine, Sarah.
I was just saying that us women, we have to know that we are the women and our community and the social environment of our community. It's the women who can change the streets, that can change our homes, our schools. It's us women, but the government doesn't allow us to do that. So the only way for us to is us, we women have to be the ones our children and our future of the children to say enough is. I want to remind women of this generation in this revolution of Uganda. We are just getting started.
Yeah.
People are still dying. Women are still crying. When I tell you the stories that I've been hearing, when I tell you the women that are suffering, women are crying, women are being raped, women are being trafficked. And in this COVID-19, I'm telling you, nutrition has risen to a whole other level. Atemuloza, intina mu COVID, mwalimu wa demuloza anti kati it is quiet. Na ita chili quiet, ate chili was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gender-based violence.
Exactly.
Abachala abali in real tears with domestic violence.
Wow.
Women, the domestic violence has gone on a sky high. Mental health has gone on a sky high. The children are going upside down. The fathers are taking it out on us wives. Some of them are so stressed out, and the children out of frustration. And some of them are so stressed out because us women, we the ones who run the home. Without a woman, the house that a man buys is nothing. A home. We are the ones, and without a family, we can't make the community. So, ladies and gentlemen, my women who are listening to our S.H.E program today, how do I feel? I'll tell you how Sarah feels. Sarah feels that in this world living in, a woman is the one who can make that difference. A woman is the mother of the earth. is the mother of this world, is the mother of the community. So each woman, you have a role to play. If you've been asking yourself, what is my purpose this earth? As a woman in Uganda, we have a work to do. People need a change. I'm going to bring stories in the next coming weeks where we are going to hear life stories. I'm asking every woman, don't give up. Don't think this is business as usual. We have not finished yet. But Nangi, a lot of people are telling me my network is still bad. So, Sophie, Sophia, do you want to just speak and sort of respond on what I've just been talking about, or Irene?
Yeah, I think network simbinyo kubanga tukyakulira. Now I think in response to what you're saying, how you feel. I mean, I can say how I feel as well. How I feel is that I am actually going to be speaking up and speaking out every single time. I am not giving up on the situation of Uganda. I am going to be present and I'm going to be speaking out. I'm going to continue in whatever form. That is how I feel my calling. I know as a social worker, it was my calling to be a social worker, working with people wanting to change those discriminated against, those facing injustices, those who are in need. So the child and the mother in need, or the child and the family. Family is everything. If family is not okay, then we cannot expect to have a good government. So imagine the current situation in Uganda is that the status of the leaders and the governance that we have, which is so poor, has made sure that they will disrupt the family. They will make the family frustrated. For instance, they will make the father be going out frustrated and not having a job, or not having a way to earn an income, a decent income, to live a decent life. They have frustrated the healthcare system. They have frustrated the agriculture system. They have frustrated the social welfare system. Is non-existent. We cannot rely on handouts all the time. As soon as handouts are the thing that holds the country together, we know we do not have a family, because the family is going to be frustrated. How? Imagine the indignity. Imagine how the man's dignity has been completely frustrated, not to be able to provide for their family.
For their family.
And what do? They end up either joining, going away, going abroad, which means that the children are going to grow up in a single parent home. It's single parent home is frustrating. So the mother also goes out to a market stall to maybe earn a living. What has happened? Just an example of COVID, where the whole transport system has been shut down and the women having to sleep in the market. What sort of dignity is life? Is that? Imagine the woman saying that I have left my children at home and I don't know who is looking after them. There's no childcare then. They have left the children at home to fend for themselves. Imagine the girls are, at risk of being maybe, sexually assaulted or raped. Not even just the girls, actually, any child.
Any child, yeah.
If you've left your children at home, and they are there to fend for themselves, they're not going to have a good diet. They probably will not have a good education space to learn, because if the mother is at home, it means that we can actually educate our own children from home. We do not have to rely only on this formal education. Just because the schools are closed, we can teach our children everything that we need to learn is actually out there in the environment. The science is about, exactly, the science is about just learning about nature. Nature is all around us. We as families, as children, as whatever, as individuals, we need to be creative stop thinking in a box, whereby if the schools are closed, our children are not going to learn. You can teach your children how to learn. If you do have basic, skills to teach them, let's say English or basic skills to teach them math or whatever. Do that in the basic, but otherwise, in terms of home economics, for instance, it's about cooking. It's about, you know, how do you teach them about manners, morals? How do the women carry themselves? How do the men carry themselves? How are they supposed? All of that is part of education. Education is not about sitting in a classroom and saying 1, 2, 3, because it doesn't. I hope abatulaba mwena, if you notice, all those who have several degrees or whatever, they are not very good at, you know, being creative at making money, for instance. They're not creative at creating their own jobs. If you go all the way and get however many degrees, all you're thinking about is to actually just go get employed.
Yeah,
when
so
you
you
get
can earn
employed,
salaries.
exactly, and earning a salary will never remove you from reaching your full potential.
Yeah, you're
It
depending
will
on
never.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because it depends on someone. Again, that's an enslaved mind. Again, you're going to be thinking, okay, you need to ask your manager, can I take a break now?
Yeah.
Imagine, can I take it now? Can I
Yeah.
take my holiday now? And that thinking needs to stop. We need to remove ourselves from that thinking whereby we're wanting to ask somebody else, rely on somebody else. You're, you know, grown woman, man, you need to say, I'm in control of my life.
You don't need
And
permission.
until we take control of our lives, this is exactly where we are now, where we're sitting there asking for the government, what can we do now? Can we have, you know, where are we going to get the food now? You have
Do
a
you not
whole lot
think
of piece of land, probably a small little piece of land. Use the things that you have. Musalebi bijerikan, mutekemwe taka, mu growing some greens.
naye
Mu growing some
tolowooza
tomatoes.
tolowooza
You know?
Sophie, ladies, do you not think that unfortunately we've had a president who's been running the country for 40 years? Now, the woman who you possibly could be talking about starting a business and doing something on land or whatever it may be, most of them have not been taught that. They've not been taught that they can go out and do it. They've been told you're going to grow, you're going to get married, you're going to have children, of no musajja agenda okulabirira, a man to take care of you. It's unfortunate in our African culture, in most cases, cheba eyagala okuyigiriza abawala, not to be able to give, to also put in them, someone said here in the comments, to be job creators, that from a young age, you learn. That's one thing I learned in the UK. In my crazy life, I learned that I had to become a hustler at a very young age. And I don't like using the word hustler, but when I mean hustler is I had to fend for myself. I had to find a way for myself in this because of the situation I was in. A lot of young girls might be pushed in some of those situations by force, but most of us growing up, the mindset is the problem. It's your thinking. It's how you're thinking and about your future, about yourself. And that's why we have to come on here and be repetitive in some of the things that we are trying to embezzle and embed in you, because the mind has been taught that you are sabiriza woba tolina sabiriza. Awonze olumu wenjagalira omukazi ali prostitute agamba nti talina kirala kya, there's nothing else she can do, especially those who go out and have children. I've gone and met some of those women in those streets. It's not always all that is cracked up to be. Some of them are genuinely doing all they can to, they've created the job they could. It's so sad that there's not enough opportunities, Sophie, to be creative, to give the women opportunities. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could signpost us to any women you know of in Uganda where there are programs, they are NGOs where women come together and are empowered. I'm talking about in government. There are funds where they're funding women at a certain age to be able to start businesses, to be able to create businesses, go out and buy land and start a business. You know, here in the UK, we've got these buy-to-let things where land and it's easier for you. And women who, and I know there are strong women out there, but the government is like your stumbling block. How do we break that down? The junta has to go. The junta has to go. And therefore, the women, we have to cry out to these things. I don't want to call myself a feminist. I don't believe I'm a feminist. I am a child of God who fights for the human right, because before I'm a woman, I'm a human being. Therefore, that is the part we should all be fighting for. As in the army, women, stand up. We need to stand up. We need to stand up within ourselves. Kakati, what is it that we need to do? Now, my question is to you ladies, as we're coming at, is what do we need to do? What next? Because we've been talking about what next. We've come on and we've said emotional intelligence. We've told us we need to go and do a SWOT analysis of ourselves. But you women, what are you doing? You woman who is in diaspora, what are you doing? What is your part? You have to ask your side out. Before you go and cry to Museveni and the government and UNN or NUP, we as the women, what have we been doing in the community?
Yeah.
Because little pads. I have a company that I'm helping who are in the village. They went this weekend, so I'll bring you the details next week, where there's girls in 2021 still don't have access to pads, access to basic human things in the village. And we are trying to support these young girls. There are lots of young girls who are experiencing some things that they've got nowhere to talk to. There is no forums. There's no safe place to come and talk about these things. It's up to you and me. It's up to you who's watching. You woman who is in diaspora and you're saying, Nange naze kucheyo, ngabo kola kucheyecho, nawe wetegeke what you're going to do. Today's show, ladies and gentlemen, is about how do we feel as women in this current situation. I don't want us to forgive and forget. We have to remind ourselves that we are in a war zone. We are in the Nsikeyo. I want you to get deeper and search deeper within yourself. Let's really deep the young girls of rape, the men who are in domestic violence, the abuse, the things that Museveni and his family have created in Uganda to such an environment that is not conducive. It's not conducive for humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are calling on you to say how you feel. How do you feel? Get your audios ready. You know the number. Begin to send them through. We have a video from our very own Sophia. Would you like to introduce this video, Sophie?
Well, thank you, Sarah. Okay, well, I did record this, and for me, it was after seeing a lot of the pre and post elections. And this is where I get my inspiration, pre and post elections. Every time I see pictures, every time I see videos, every time I see the wounded, particularly, you know, my what my action taking is around helping the soldiers, you know, the foot soldiers. So as I am thinking, how am I helping? How can I help? How can I get people into action? I needed to put it into words. So this is the best I know how to maybe use my voice to impact, get your feelings of frustration, of, so that you become angry, you become annoyed, you become, this voice is to make you feel that way, so that you don't forget, so that you know that we have a lot to do. We can do something. We can change the status quo. But if we go behind our, our houses and our little mansions and our little, you drive a nice car and you feel that, oh, I have arrived. You have not arrived. If the whole community is not arrived, you have not arrived.
Yeah.
So that's why I am inspired to keep talking, keep saying, and keep putting into voice. So I hope that you've enjoyed it, whoever's seen it, and keep sharing it, because it's a message. I wanted to hone down a message that the status quo is not good enough. We cannot leave behind our little houses and our little mansions, drive a nice car and say you have arrived, when all humanity is not. Uganda needs to change. Thank you.
Good evening, Ugandans. Good evening, Africans. Good evening, women and men and the youth. Young, old, full of wisdom. Good evening, African. I just want, every time I see any pictures from Uganda, any videos from Uganda that are of torture, barbaric actions, inhumane treatment, I am just overwhelmed. I am angry. I am frustrated. I am completely motionless. I am lost for words. But I am also inspired. I'm inspired to write. I'm inspired to put my feelings from head to paper. I'm inspired to tell you exactly how I feel at this moment, in this moment. I am being present. Therefore, my fellow Ugandans, my fellow Africans, my fellow human beings of the world, please listen, be present, and understand the plight of the Ugandans. No, we do not want for you to feel sorry for the Ugandans, but we want action. We want action. And I'm hoping that these words from the bottom of my heart, without script, I do hope that these words from the bottom of my heart will help you understand the plight of the many Ugandans who are back on Ugandan soil and are experiencing the torture, are experiencing this barbaric treatment, are experiencing the most inhumane. It's almost like as if we're back over 100 years ago in the times of enslavement or slavery or colonialism. But no, we say no, we will not be slaves. Ugandan lives matter. Every Ugandan life matters. Brothers and sisters, join me. As I say these words, I want you to really listen. I want you to really take them all in, word by word, sentence by sentence. I want you to listen. Just for humanity's sake, we must speak up and speak out. Just for humanity's sake. How dare you think this is about Bobby Wine? How dare you think this is about Kyagulanyi? How dare you think it is about NUP supporters? How dare you? You frequent your churches, drive your flashy cars, get in your picket fenced mansions, want the best seat at table. How dare you? What use are you to society if not for society? What use are you to society if not for mankind? What use is Mama Uganda when its very heart, soul and existence is being destroyed? The youth. What use is Mama Uganda when its mothers are being undressed raped, humiliated, devastated, driven to absolute horror and hopelessness, watching their children's bodies being stripped of all humanity. I mean the strips on their back, the strips all over their dark skin, chocolate skin. How can you sleep at night when Uganda's sons and daughters are being abducted, raped, tortured, murdered, traumatized, wrongfully imprisoned for standing up, speaking out and speaking up for the truth and basic human rights, whilst exercising the legal duty in accordance to Article 3 of Uganda's constitution? If not for Mama Uganda, then where would you be? How dare you keep silence? Speak out and speak up. If not for Bobby Wine, NUP, National Unity Platform, yourself, at least for just humanity's sake, we must continue to be resolute and focused to speak up and speak out for those with no voice despite the fear, torture and intimidation. A lot of diversions will always be there due to the dictatorial leaderships. My brothers and sisters, I call upon you, fear not. Every Ugandan life matters. Hashtag, I am not a spectator. Hashtag, we are removing a dictator. Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Hi. That was a bit, it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It just how much a mother had part to play and the importance. It reminds me, it's a reminder of what we went through, Sophie and Irene, during the campaigns.
Yeah.
When our children, because these young youth, 16, 17, 18, are young enough to be our kids. Can you imagine a mother who was told by her son or daughter, Mommy, I'm going to fight for my country. I'm going off to fight, Mommy, I'm going to fight. And some of them have not come back home. Some of them have not come back home. Some of them during this campaign have buried children. I want to talk about this particular election and campaign, ladies and gentlemen, because we need to call a spade a spade. When we had Besigye for 20 years, most people who entered the struggle or the revolution were not very much well known about the Ugandan politics and how it works. We've come to support our very own because he was a young, vibrant, inspirational man who came from an everyday person to coming into the government. He gave us that inspiration to want to come and be part of this politics and be part of just making a change in our country, because enough was enough. Enough is enough. Look at our country. Look at our beautiful land. Look at the greenery. Look at that beautiful skies and the pearl of Africa that it used to be. But one man and his family have come in and have destroyed everything. In this election, we thought this was going to be our chance. We thought this time the man is going. We were told and sold the dream of change is coming now. Change is coming in 2021. Abana baffe ne tubaencouraginga, abaana ne tugamba bannange mugende mulwane olutalo. Besigye ebyo most people tebabikolera Besigye, naye Bobi twakulwanira. Bobi twayiwawo omubiri gwaffe, abaana baffe ba foot soldiers bonna. I'm sorry to say this, I'm bringing this up because I have been traumatized by the stories I've been hearing from the foot soldiers that we have brought here on UNN. And it breaks my heart and my soul and my spirit to know that people can come out here and call these children state agents and call these children all sorts of names. When you even see the environment that they are living in, just to tell us their story. These boys are in darkness. These boys are speaking their heart. One of the boys, I saw him crying this week. I broke down, ladies and gentlemen. Mothers are looking for their children today. They don't know where their children are. They know either the children are in prison or whether the children died. So they've had to just let it go. This boy at Uganda, over 1,000 children. Abana abavubuka baayagala okulwana olutalo luno. Uganda, my mother, my mothers, my women, I'm calling you. We have to fight for our children. Those foot soldiers, women are the ones who have to fight. Us women are the ones who have to fight for our women, our children. Bring our children back, our children to leave those places. They are in torture chambers. Torture chambers. Even the prisoners are being tortured, even when they are just in prison. They are being tortured. Enough is enough, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, enough is enough. Please, women, this is a cry out. Abana baffe Baba tamu struggle, ngabajita struggle, but people in the politics are in their selfish beings and doing their own selfish things. We are not spectators, and we are not going to stay spectators. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you for such a video. Thank you for reminding us that we are not spectators, that we will keep speaking up. And I'm telling you, woman, you are the strength. You are the strength. If we keep talking and talking and talking, not talking rubbish, not abusing other women, not talking about other women's personal life, I don't have time for it. I have time to tell my people who I'm fighting for their human rights, because God has given me the capacity to be able to do so. Do your part or die trying. Waliwo yajja wano nga batugamba ne batutunza wano story mu campaign, bullet or ballot. Do your part. Nga ye akola mulimu gwe nga naffe tujja kukola gwaffe. Twaja ekyo kyagenda wa. Where is that fight? Where is that Chagulanyi that we knew? Being paid. I'm sorry, I will say it. While my children die. Women are crying right now in hospitals because there's no space to even have children. Oh, Irene, after you've seen that how do I feel video, how do you feel? Bananga masimu magategeke.
It's very touching. I just feel to fight all this, we need to go back to our roots, you know. Sarah, you've touched on so many topics. And I'm just thinking the one that really touched me is talking about a story that maybe has just touched my heart. It's talking about roots, whereby you find that when women are raising their children, they don't have someone to look up onto or someone to advise them. Hence, we get confused and get cheated, whereby you can get someone giving you the wrong advice or the good advice. Which one do you take? You don't know. So it puts most of our children in danger, or the generation to come. Talk about the kids who are being taken abroad in the name of sponsorship to get a better education. And that is what most of our parents know. I mean, someone who is seated right inside the village, who is not able to watch what we're preaching here or what we're saying here, is not able to understand how to nurture a young girl into becoming a leader, a young man into becoming who he's supposed to be, whom he's supposed to be in a society. So it starts from us being nurtured from when we are young. So me as a parent, if I'm not given an opportunity to travel out of the country, leave alone traveling abroad or just experiencing being somewhere in Nairobi or somewhere in Rwanda, where at least there's more of young women being educated and shown a way to a life at a tender age, I wouldn't know. But if a white lady comes and today say, we're looking for pen pals or sponsors, bring girls abroad, let us teach them how to educate them. Well, you're going into a house where you've never been, maybe to a different country. Your mom is looking into you having a better education or better quality. That's what we know. So the government is not doing enough to educate our young people to be nurtured into being young leaders, into being the future leaders, into the, I don't even know how to put it. But coming on to the soldiers, as people were talking about when Bobby was campaigning to become the president, I think the story of the foot soldiers, it's died down. Now, at the moment, I was just checking through my Facebook and I see there are actually a few non-governmental organizations that is fighting for the foot soldiers. I didn't know more about the foot soldiers until I had to go research. That is where S.H.E Woman also comes in, whereby we have to research and understand what is happening before we get to convey it out. So the foot soldiers, being as a parent, you have a son who is currently in prison. That's the reality. They are there. They don't know what's going to happen to them tomorrow, whether there's going to be food, or who's providing for them, who is voicing, are there people who are voicing for, let's talk about if you have the NGOs, non-governmental organizations saying that they're fighting for foot soldiers. Are you sure they're fighting for them, or they're just using it to benefit their own, people are really suffering. So you can't really say people who are forming this organization are busy helping the foot soldiers into them coming out of the prison. I've seen pictures, I've seen photos, it's so scary. So, as a parent, that's where Sophia maybe come in and say that it's so distressing, So you've touched on into a lot. It's how I feel. I feel it's not about me as a woman fitting in a society. I feel if I'm able and capable of changing the situation, I will do it in a different way. Like just right now, I'm busy conveying the messages to many women who are out there to take what is happening in their country seriously. Voice it out. Do not sit in fear that if you speak it out, someone is gonna point fingers or you're gonna get killed. Get killed trying. Don't run. Let's try, let's try. Like Sarah was saying, we are all out here, we risk it, we hustle, we do whatever you can to better back home. We Blacks live on something that is called black tax. You cannot travel out of your country and forget the people that you have left behind. And this community of the small UNN that many people have still not recognized, the ladies here do quite a lot of things. They reach out and help. I have seen it by myself, money being sent out. So if you are here thinking that UNN TV is here to extort money from people, it doesn't work that way. The TV channel actually has reached so many people. I have witnessed it. We are here to witness it. So I feel there's more to be done. it's just, I don't even know how to put it, Sarah, but that is how I feel at the moment. Is we just need to keep on voicing how we feel till the dictator is out. It's not the end. I feel like now people have lost that the energy of saying the dictator must go. They've actually accepted the position of let's just be in that being oppressed, where you have accepted it's okay. You know,
that's why we are saying no. On UNN, we say no. We are removing a dictator, and we are still on the same agenda. He has to be removed.
Yeah.
Sophia, the foot soldiers, we thank you. By the way, guys, many of you who have not, if you do watch the shows during the week as well, you will know this is Sophia. Some of the foot soldiers have been talking about on the show that she has been supporting them. You have to be acknowledged for the good that you're doing, Sophia, because when many women know this, not many people know this. But tuvuma wano inti tuli banyampi, tuli state agency, naye babuuze nabo naffe tujja baddiza sente zaabwe ze batugamba nti mekaze twateeka mu struggle tuzibaddize. You can't even pay this woman back for what she has put in the struggle in this last 1 year. Her time, her energy. So she is a real she woman, and we just want to honor you, Sophie, and say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now you have been dealing with the foot soldiers. You tell us also, what have you been experiencing?
Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Irene. Bambi, all glory is not to me, all glory is to God. First of all, he can only inspire me to do more. My Christian background, my being a human or humanity, my values and ethics about being a social worker. First of all, it's about the other. I need to be selfless. I do with good intentions, and I don't expect anything back. Glory is to God. And I think whatever we have been doing, we've been a team, actually teamwork, because where I've not been able to emotionally be present, so I've had to rely on you, Sarah. I've had to rely on you, giving me, advice, and we do that for each other, and that's the whole purpose of it, so that we can inspire and keep doing and keep the fire burning. That's the bottom line. And I think for me, foot soldiers, I mean, all I'm doing is just being there for them, emotional and practical. That's all I'm doing. When I'm speaking to them in one-to-ones, or away from the cameras, I'm just giving them a listening ear, to be honest. And when I do that, I'm hoping that it's helping them to keep going and be encouraged. I'm all about emotional, practical advice and support, and to keep them, giving them that sort of fire to keep going, the energy to keep at it, to be present, to come out and say and tell their stories. That's all I have been doing. And when I have the one-to-one conversations or with them, it's really for me to listen to what they have to say, because they need whatever they have to say matters. They did a good job. They continue to do a good job. They cannot be silenced. The threats or whatever, they cannot be silenced. It's not okay. These are very young men, particularly, and these young men are our future. Imagine, they're like my sons. Obviously, I don't have, sort of sons up to that age, but they could easily be my sons. And I really just want to comfort them, to just bring them a message of hope. So when I'm talking to them, I'm really, I just give them the message of hope, and I just keep the lines of communication open, and just let them know that I am your, I can be your lifeline when they're frustrated, when they call me and maybe stranded, you know. And if I can do something, I don't even ask questions most of the time. I just say yes, okay, how, where. So I want them not to have to worry about where they're going to sleep, where the next meal is going to come from. I just want them to be sort of emotionally okay whilst they tell their story, because we are still going. We still have a long way to go, and they still have a long way to go, because whilst they're experiencing being homeless, having to change their lives completely, having to go through the cold, having to, you know, remember all the, it's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. And as a social worker, I'm about,
it's
you
really
know,
sad.
Helping them through their day-to-day and them to walk through this difficult time with them, doing it in a safe space, you know.
I feel this. They still remain to be the light and the vision of the country, you know, the foot soldiers. And meanwhile, they always also ensure that no one is left behind, you know, no matter what happens. So people, we must never forget them. You're right, Sophia.
Yeah. Oh, it's very touching story, and I think I sort of get back into my shell or myself every time I hear
I
about,
know, I can feel your energy, you know. It's no, because I feel it's that sadness, I guess, of what you're sort of reliving what happened during those campaigns. And when I tell you, these kids used to ring us, they used to tell us stories and Zengamfuna Zemo through Facebook Messenger. Sometimes I would not believe some of these kids. But until Sophie, when we were doing the Uganda is Bleeding, we started the Uganda is Bleeding demonstrations online. I'm sure some people won't remember that, but yes, it was I who started Uganda is Bleeding online demonstrations. We ourselves, myself and my sister. So let nobody ever tell you that they struggled to twajirimu hardcore. We were with Bobby all the way. Me, I stopped talking to my family because of this man, okay? Because of the struggle. So I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, when I say to you, we have fought, and these young kids that have gone through this pain, it's not fair for anyone to ever come on social media and just talk behind this camera and just talk their nonsense when they were not on ground being shot at in the leg, being shot at. Those boys could have just died just from bleeding to death. Forget even the shot, but bleeding to death. But not once, not twice, the children were able to make it. That's God. Okay? Let's appreciate these young children and do all we can to help them. Let's do everything we can to help them. Anyway, I know it's such a traumatizing thing, and that's why today we said we wanted to come and say, how do you feel, my fellow women? What are we going to do together as a unit, as people? I've been telling you, and it's something that I tell every woman around me. You pray, you have faith, but without faith, without action, faith is dead. So as we are believing and we are praying, we then need to act. Our action on S.H.E is to speak up, is to make sure that we bring you the information. We bring you the data. We are investigating and putting our lives on the risk so that we can give you this information, so that you can open up your mind, so that you can have another perspective to the situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have opened the audios and the calls, and I have one of my callers who's about to come on here. I'm going to see if she's working, if it's working in a minute. But if you want to send us an audio, you want to send us a phone call, please prepare it right now, because we are only taking about 5 audios today. I'm starting off today with from one of our viewers today and said, I'm sorry, Sophie, I'm at work and I can only type. But the truth is, ever since the foot soldiers came at UNN, I just break down and cry. I ask myself very many questions. How could Chagulani be so evil to sacrifice our children, our kids' lives like that? Ugandans, we did. Ugandans, we did. We did, I missed something there. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is just painful. Viewer, thank you so much for your text message. I truly do relate to what you're saying there. He sacrificed our children. He did. Because children are telling us they drank blood. Ladies and gentlemen, children drank blood to fight for this particular struggle. I don't know if that's ever happened before. As we're preparing for our audios, just hold on for me. I want to see if we can hear this lady who is one of our She Ladies of the Week. Sophie and Irene, sorry, did you want to say something just before we start taking on the audios and the phone calls?
Yeah,
No,
I'll just like to say,
yeah,
Sophie,
go
ahead. Yeah, let's just ponder on this gender inequality. And this actually requires what we are doing currently at the moment, talking to each other and empowering other women. Sophia, just carry on. Yeah.
I was just gonna say thank you, our viewer at Welezaka message yako. Thank you very much. And I think my thinking is that, you know, change comes from us. We cannot sit by and lament. We need to take action. Yes, you see us speaking here all the time, but it doesn't mean in the background we don't take action. We do take action, and that's what is important. We need to come together, take action. Being on probably social media, going and seeing every live does not change the fact that we're still under attack. Our culture is under attack. Our identity is under attack. Our person, our family is under attack. Ugandan nationality, citizenship is under attack.
Yeah.
So ponder on that and reflect. Sarah, back to you. Irene, is Sarah there?
Sorry, I had muted myself there for a second. I'm just trying to get our She Lady of the Week. We have a little testimony for you, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm trying to organize our lady to come on live. Some of these stories that we are bringing you on our She program to let you know women are still going through it. She's been through so much these last few weeks, but she's one of our women that we managed to rescue, and wanted her to come and say thank you because with Mutiamba to make these things possible. If you can just bear with me, I think she's now come through. Here we are. Hello. Hello, Betty, hello. Can you hear me, everybody?
Yeah.
Can you hear? And Betty, can you hear me? Can you hear Betty, our viewers, and Sophie? Betty, put your volume up a little bit. Can you hear Betty?
No. Okay, we can
no one can hear her. Oh, you can hear her. Betty, mbadde nkusaba ojja kwogera a little bit louder oba essimu yo ojonga abantu basobole okuwulira bulungi. Then Wanji? Okay. Banange mulira. Okay. Yes, we can hear. Sophie, Irene, can you hear Betty?
Yeah,
Betty, introduce yourself, Betty, or Tukwaniriza. Welcome to the She program. You are live on UNN.
Gandi mukyala eyajja okuba enkeeyo e Saudi Arabia.
Simanyi kibaddewo. Kale, Betty, it's okay. Tofayo, Betty. Kanku ngenda kusotinga end the call. Ngenda ku ending esimu. Ngenda kukubira back. Katugira tukwata ku masimu amalala. Beera ku simu nindaako. Ngenda kuwa instructions. Kale. Kale, let's hear some of the audios. Ngabwe tusotinga. Betty, please, our producer.
Hello, UNNians. Welcome to the show today. I want to thank you, Miss Sarah, Sophia, and Irene for showing up today and for teaching us. Welcome, Irene. I think I heard you speak a little bit of Swahili, and I want to welcome you in my little Swahili. Unakaribishwa hapa UNN. Tunashukuru sana kuwa na wewe. Asante sana.
Karibu.
Naomba urudi tena.
Niko hapa kabisa.
Asante. Na we hope utarudi. Karibu sana.
Asante
Now,
sana.
I'd like to speak about our kids. Miss Sarah has talked about our kids, and Sophia talked about the safety of the kids. For instance, the lady that left, the women that left their kids home to go spend nights in the markets. It's really sad to know that we live in communities today that do not have a safe environment for young kids, girls and boys. And I hope that we can work towards reviving the Uganda that some of us grew up in. I remember growing up, and my mom would leave us on the weekend at home to go tend for to her farms. And being in the community that I grew up in, we were safe. She would tell the neighbors that she's gone for the weekend, and everybody looked out for one another. The adults in our neighborhood knew each other. They loved each other. They shared food. They went to the same churches. We obviously spoke the same language, but there was a safety, a sense of safety for kids and everyone. So we're lacking that today. Kubanga osanga nga abantu abasinga, they have fenced up their homes for good reasons. Kubanga ensi tekyalina safety kubaana. People don't talk to each other. They don't speak to neighbors. You don't know who your neighbors are. And I hope that when things change, when the government changes, we can revive that and go back to our communities and learn to live with each other, know each other, love each other, protect each other, look out for each other, because it's important that when we have a stable, safe community, we can raise better kids. I think it starts with our kids, and if we do invest the time and the resources in our kids, we have a higher chance of getting better people in the future. Issue endala gye tulina bannange ye ya media. The several times I've been back home in Uganda, I have been shaken by the kind of content that our media channels play for our kids. Nosanga ng'omwana omuto w'emyaka 5, myaka 4, ayimba obuyimba enyimba ez'esitaza. Sometimes they don't even know what the songs mean. Naye the fact that our media houses actually play this content ku baana baffe, abaana baffe ne babanga babonona kuva nga bali bato olwa content gye bawulira, amazina ge bazina ge balaba ku TV, ge mazina ge bazina, they don't know any better, okiraba. So ate n'okuba nti abazadde baba bakola, abazadde tebabeera waka, abaana babeera n'abakozi, naye okuba nti abaana content gye balaba gye bayingiza mu bwongo bwabwe nga baana bato eba eboonoona. I hope that we have censored media that actually provides educational programs for our kids. Abaana baffe ne baba nga bava buto nga bayiga ebintu ebibazimba neese ebintu ebyonoona culture. I believe that this was intentional. The government has done this intentionally to dilute and to erode our culture. So nsaba bwe tuba nga tukuza abaana baffe, bwe tuba nga tusobola to work towards content that can actually educate them, tubeere nga ne programs eziyigiriza abaana ebintu ebyawaka, social etiquette, games, storytelling, ebintu ebisobola okubasomesa other than ebintu ebitali mu magezi ebyonoona empisa, ebijjawo obuwangwa, n'okwonoona ensi. That is my take for today. I have so much to say, Naye. I hope I have another chance in the future to be present on the show. Thanks again, ladies. Have a great show, everybody. This is Mwange from Texas. Thanks, everyone.
Banai, thank you so much, Mwange. Thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for the great message. And I think, of course, okubantino tusomesa abaana ebintu ebigasa. That's the main thing, to teach our children important things that are going to be to sort of build them into confident, leaders, confident human beings. Not to say, because I think it's what we, like I was saying, teaching our children starts from the home. It starts from the family, and then it goes out to the school. The school is not responsible for teaching our children. So if everything has been taken out of our curriculum, everything that's good, anything that's good, teaching our children who they are, because knowing your identity and culture actually gives you this self-confidence and self-belief that you belong. You belong somewhere and you're someone. It gives you that sort of modeling into a confident human being, so that wherever you go, you exude confidence. And Mwange, I agree with you when you say, Ntibane would try to, I just reminisce every time I think about Uganda. I just reminisce how I grew up. I grew up in this extended family. I grew up after boarding school, holidays, summer holidays, or not necessarily summer holidays, but in the holidays, where would we go? We would go to the village. And going to the village, what would we do? We would know that we're going to help around the home, maybe fetch firewood, swim in the river, eat all the fruits on the trees everywhere, sugarcane, everything was natural, was nature. And we were learning
Fresh.
through that, we were learning to share, we were learning collectivism. And I just want to tell our viewers that I will be coming up with my, the shows where it's about the Revolution Spa. And this Revolution Spa is really about remembering how, just taking us back a little bit, how we grew up. What can we do to teach our children reading books? How can we teach our children to, be able to read? Unfortunately, I don't know Uganda, but I'll be reading with, with my own daughter to hopefully inspire another young person who's there thinking that they can't do it, but everything is possible. Just to inspire and improve your reading, maybe get us interested again in, informing ourselves in education. And those shows will be coming up. We have a lot planned for you all. Just watch this space. We just watch this space. Yeah.
Watch this. There's so much stuff that we want to try and get done, especially for the young girls, because you are the next generation. So these we're trying to build, we're rebuilding ourselves, we're rebuilding the Uganda we want to see, and we've decided that we can only take matters into our own hands. There's more audios, ladies.
Hello, UNN ladies. Good evening. How are you, Badia? Sophie, Sarah. Good evening, Irene. Mambo, Kapadia. Anakuacha leo mami.
Jambo.
Asante sana kuwa rafiki yetu. Ya, tunaomba Mungu akubariki, akupatie kila kitu anataka.
Asante.
Ladies banange bali kutuweereza bamikwano. Banange this week yo tutte speed ate badde banange nalabye abavubuka abasajja bakyalinze ku by'omwana oli eyafa muwala wa Katumba ngamba baba nenkulagawa oba binaggwadde kuba ebyakawesi byatutumye wala naye tubateeremu essaala buli kimu kirina kuggwa nga tuli free nga tulina freedom yaffe but right now dictator atulengera mu kamooli tulwane tulina okulwana nnyo bannange tetuzikiza tetuva ku mulamu waba mikwano bonna abali wabweru abatulaba batuwuliriza program za UNA tubirabe tubiteeke mu mutwe ate tubifolowing ate tubinywerereko we're promising because this day is very promising omuntu yenna you have to prove yourself to promise yourself that you can do it okulaba nti twejjako dictator tusobole okuwangula tusobole okubeera free in our country because batusindikiriza eno gye tuli oba balenzi oba bawala tebali bulungi ne bw'osanga ali obulungi era still waliwo ekimunyigiriza bakugula ne bakugula ssente nnyingi oyisa emikono gy'abantu abataano bonna bakutunda n'otuuka mu kiyuma nga mulimu omwana azigoloba obwebake naye bakusibireyo lwa mpaka abaana bayita mu mbeera tolina passport tolina mulimu abaana nga tolina mu masimu nga bwolaba ffe kati nofuna ku kasimu n'oyogerako nofunako counseling naye torture mind torture ziba zituuka you have to fight bannange until nga tulina freedom yaffe mu ngalo that is the only solution right now. Yeah, I love you ladies. Irene.
Thank you.
Helen, bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your comment.
You guys.
We love you.
Yeah. Irene, wasalimie wote wa Kenya.
Asante, definitely will do. Karibu.
I'm the one, Sophie, I'm the one who has typed, but as you know, when you're busy and then you're typing, sometimes you do not write the words properly, so you've been a little bit confused. So now I'm clarifying. I'm just asking myself various happens ever since those kids came to UNN. I break down and I cry because I don't know how Chagulanyi could be so evil to sacrifice our kids. Because there is nothing that Ugandans did wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. We went on and supported him. We came out, supported him, supported someone that we thought that maybe he could give us a better Uganda. But instead he betrayed us. Instead he gave in kids to die for no reason because the kids died and many are now on run. And he's not doing anything. His brothers are busy constructing houses.
Wow. Sure.
His brothers are busy. He's not doing anything about it. His brothers are busy showing off with new houses. Is this the time for them to do that? Where the people, the foot soldiers, who are the backbone of the struggle, have nothing. They're just on a run, and others are in prisons, and others are dead. Dead. What did we do wrong for him to betray us in such a manner? I break down and cry. I'm telling you. And I don't know how we are going to get out of this. But thank you very much for the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Wow.
Thank you.
How do you feel? This is your opportunity to express and speak up. How do you feel? Kakati Ndoza tugenda kuleta one of our, I think, Betty, are you ready to come back? Just give me a moment, or I think we have one more. Okay, we have another audio. Sorry for the silence, ladies and gentlemen, having a technical issue here. Audio.
Sometimes silence is good.
Ponder. But I really resonated with one of the ladies about the different things we have to do for our young girls and coming together and working together. We were betrayed again. But we now need to take matters in our own hands. No more leaving our country and putting all our basket in one.
Our eggs in one basket.
Yeah, in one basket, yeah. We all crave for a better Uganda. Yeah.
Okay, here we are. Here's our audio.
Hi, ladies. Good evening to you. How are you doing?
Hello, beautiful voice.
Sophie, Miss Irene, just Kumalabako, especially Miss Irene. Kumalabako. Please feel at home.
Hello.
Hello. Also, Kinewaze, Akensusu, Manaya Kensusu. Miss Sophie, thank you so much. And the team, she, ladies, I think you did it with them. It's our pleasure. Mana tuyanzanyo, tuyanzedde. Twasiima kiyinza okubagamba. Anyway, kaneebaze buli kiss alaba UNN. Thank you. Otherwise, kaneebaze abo bonna abalikinga video ne bagisharinga. The moment you share video, egenda viral, kitegeeza omulimu muba mugwongeddeko. And let's do it. Continue sharing. Thank you. Ngenda kwebaza abaami n'abakyala abacontributinga ku UNN. Anange kyamaanyi kyatendo. kubanga bino byonna bye tuyitamu, fine whether in UG, whether in Ont, wherever you are, bannaye buli omu yeetaaga abeera mu nsi ye. But tunaabeerayo tutya ng'ensi abakaaba naffe tukaaba? We need to find a solution to pass through this, otherwise it's too much. Nyongerezaako nga nsaba abaami, abakyala, bambi buli omu akola ekyo ky'alaba ekyetaagisa n'akyongerako ettaffaali ku revolution. That's how I can say it. Otherwise, bannange tukaabye ekimala kimala. Let's say we are removing a dictator while showing the action. Let's say we're not spectators while doing it. Okuki to mean it. Oba mukiraba. Abasobola okukwata mu nsawo tukwate mu nsawo. Abasobola to fight, let's fight for what is ours. You know, bannaye tusituke. The moment you told twetaaga kucontributinga kino, bannaye nga you have the money, please nziweeyo tukole ekigenda otuyamba, all of us. I know tulina obulumi bungi, but tekujja tugwako nga tetulwanye. Bannaye let's stand up. Thank you. Otherwise, good evening and good night. I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our lady of voice, our voiceless. Huh? Ayomanyi.
Hello bashi bannange mwebale tuweereza naye mututwala speed bannange. Museveni kye yatukola mwe temukimanyi. Museveni yatulinnyako oluzungu baaba lusukka. Ekintu mukimikisingemu Oluganda, mukimikisingemu Olusoga. Naffe mututwalire wamu. Naye nga mwebale kuweereza. Mwebale kuvaayo, mwebale kubeerawo, mwebale ddala base. Mpozi nze bannange ku ky'abaana mbutuufu kinnuma, ky'ekyabaana kinnuma. Era tuba tumaze okusindiikiriza kaweeke n'ono, nsaba gundi enaddako. Etuule yeetegereze enteekateeka y'abayimbi ba celebrate, ennyambala yaabwe, ebigambo bye bafulumya biki. Mbutuufu bisukka ate ennyimba ne bazikiriza ozikuba ku TV, ne bazikiriza ozikuba ku leediyo. Kwegamba omwana n'abeera muto nga ebigambo byakuzaawulira byebyo tekimuzibuwalira na kubyogera yadde n'akamu. Already kati TV zaabuna wonna, leediyo zaabuna wonna. Singa ffe we twakulira nti no tewaali leediyo, tewaali TV. Nedda. Naye kati buli kimu kibunye wonna, abaana bye bawulira byebyo, bye balaba byebyo, bye bakola. Kwegamba tetumanyi na generation empya bw'egenda kuba. Obutuufu nange eky'abaana kinnuma. Naye nga mwebale kuweereza abannaYNN mbaagala nnyo. Nze Namayanja.
Oh, Namayanja, thank you. Irene, what she was saying is that we've put in too much English. We should reduce the speed. We should reduce the speed of English because we're leaving some people out.
Okay,
and that
cool.
we should understand that the junta did a disservice to them. But you see, this is the thing. Like, how is it that Uganda today, we have young people that are saying they cannot speak English? Do you understand? I don't get it. Because if the education system is in the English, how is it that we're having, children coming out of school, all levels coming out and saying they cannot understand English? I mean, what exactly are they teaching our children?
Well, the English is a language that is very universal. And you have to understand, we are not local champions, we are universal. We are in now a world where if I'm in Uganda, I'm in the United Kingdom, and I'm in a different country, English is what can bring us together. Tumanyi nti show eno ya bana Uganda mainly, but we want to be talking to all Africans in this generation. And our guests, our presenters, buli kimu kye tukola, we mix our English and Luganda. Mpozi twakiyita ki ku UNN? Luga English, Luga what?
Lugangereza.
That's something.
Lugangereza.
Lugandeleza. So
Luganda.
whatever it is, you understand the message, which is we mix English and Luganda so that we are able to also relate and have our fellow African neighbors, because they too go through oppression. They too have been going through some things in their country and changes that they need. And they too are women and they too have human rights that they need to address. So we have a lot in common. We are ready, guys, ladies and gentlemen, for our guest to come on that note. Mwebale nnyo mwenna abalese audios for today. Naye tulina omukazi waffe, our guest of today, our she lady, omukyala waffe lady for this week, Betty. We couldn't hear her very well earlier on, so I'm hoping now we'll be able to hear her more clearer. Tubuulire story ye. She's going to come on straight away and introduce herself. Then ajja babuulira ekyabaawo. Tubeebaze mwenna aba involved in this story. Thank you very much. Welcome, Betty.
Okay, it's Betty taking time.
Yeah. Just give me a second. Betty, welcome to Kulamusiza naawe nnyabo.
Sarah.
Oli otya mukwano?
Abakyala S.H.E Women. Nsanyuse okubasanga oba okubawuliza. Amannya agange bampita Namuddu Betty. Essaawa zino ndi mu kitundu kya Saudi Arabia nga gye najja okukola. Naye nga gamba ani ambeeko. Ani yalimu okukuba mugamba ndeke.
Abo bagambe bakuddamu kukubira. Yes. Bagambe oli kati ku program balekerawo. Naye bwe muba mulaba Betty abalaba, tubasaba mujja muddamu ng'amaze show.
Nafuna obuzibu.
Betty gwe genda maaso tukuwulira.
Mbagambye bandike Mami Sarah. Asaba kunsonyiwa.
Gwe tandika mukwano okwogera, abantu bakuwulira, oli ku live. The world is watching and listening.
Kale Mami Sarah. Najja nga nzize nkolerere ku baana bange. Kale Mami Sarah.
Naye obadde obuzeemu Betty. Network wobadde ebadde nnungi nga tukuwulira bulungi.
Abulidde ddala Sarah.
Hello, guys. What we're going to do next week. That's what we're going to do. We'll bring Betty when during the week we'll test this out. We want to give you a story about Betty. I'll just give you a little bit of a background so that you don't miss next week's show. Betty was one of the ladies who has been working as a house manager in Saudi Arabia, and she's been living and working in very bad working conditions, to a point where it was real threatening to her life, and we needed to find a way to get her out of that place. We managed to do that, and with the help of some of our UNanians, Lady Samaya Tukweba Zabiona, and a few other people, and Sophia. So next week, we will start with that show. We will start with that story. We'll bring her on, and that's the first thing we're going to start with, is to bring our Betty to tell us what she went through. Okubalaga abakyala engeri gye twetaaga okukyusa embeera gye tulimu. Some of our people need to be helped and supported, even in the working conditions in diaspora. Some people still need a support system and somebody to call upon, because unfortunately we have crap embassies who are supposed to represent our countries and they're not doing their job. So it's our job to take matters into our own hands. So njagala kumwebaza mwenna abalabye today's program, abalabye today's show. Njagala kubategeka nti we want to change the day of this show. Twagala gikyusa tujje mu prime time during the week where we're going to be with you. So we are asking you, please watch out for a new time and our new day. Gye tugenda okujja as the She Ladies. And that very first program, we are going to call our Betty and hear these trafficking, different stories. We have many stories that we're going to bring you so you too can be inspired. Nti ne mukubonaabona kwe tuyitamu waliwo ebintu ebirala bye tusobola okuvaamu if we unite, if we help each other. I have just one more audio. If you could just bear with me. Let's play this audio before we go. Oh, sorry, I was just about to, I just have one more audio. I don't know what's happened to it. Just bear with me.
Hello, Irene. Mwebale tuweleza mikwano. Mujabale gye mukwasaganya. Mwebale kuba bakyala balungi. Mwebale kuba n'abakyala balina mutima muzadde. Bambi, mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala. Nze munneewuunyisa ne mbeegomba. Kubanga nze bwe nali omuto saafuna kwagala. Nengenda ne ndaba program ze mukola. Ne ngamba ye. Eriyo abantu abalina emitima emirungi giti Mukama. Bwe nali omuto, dadi wange yalina kuseeta. Dadi wange yawasa abakazi. ag'enjawulo nga bamanyi abaami abasiraamu. Nze saasobola kulala na mami wange, daddy wange n'anteeka ku mami wange omuto. Omukazi yambonyaabonya. Naye ekinnuma e Uganda olaba ennaku okufa ng'oli muto ndowooza paka kufa. Okitegeera obonaabona okuba ng'okyali mwana muto n'okula n'obonaabona ne gavumenti yennyini n'ekubonyaabonya ogamba ye kati bannange omuntu akola atya. Bwe nali omuto daddy wange nga bw'aba anaasula omukyala we omulala, mami nga nzigalira mu nnyumba y'enkoko nga ngamba siteekeddwa ssula n'abaana be, nga nteeka mu nnyumba y'enkoko nga nsula omwo. Okera ku makya ogende ku ssomero, akusoose ku lubimbi n'ogenda n'olima n'odda n'enku n'ogenda ku ssomero, ate ne ku ssomero batikya ne bakuba nga batikya tebawuliriza kuba ng'otuuse leeti. Mbabulira abaana gye bali e Uganda tukulira mu kubonaabona ne gavumenti yennyini n'etubonyaabonya kugamba n'ogamba oba lwaki nazaalwa. Oh my God. Naye mbeebaza, mwebale kuba abakyala balungi abalina emitima emirungi. Mukama abawe kye musinga okwagala ya Rabbi. Nze mikwano ky'oba olaba nakyawa Abanyarwanda n'abatyawa n'abatyawa balungi naye emitima gyabwe bannange sijja kwogera nnyo bingi kubanga mpulira ennaku ku mutima, naye bwenjogeddeko nammwe mpulira oba nga nina kintu olookoseeko, naye babi annambasiza babi. Allah atusaasire, balungi naye baalungiwa kungulu naye emitima ya Rabbi.
Bannange munsonyiwe muwulidde omukyalo oyo oba muwulidde bulungi. Sophie, mbadde njagala omalirize programu eyo, programu osiibule abantu for today's show. Osooke respond back to that audio please and then say your goodbyes.
Yeah, abatuuliza, first of all, abaweereza audio, thank you very much to all that have contributed to this show this afternoon, particularly those who have sent us their audios. Abatuweereza audio, mwebale nnyo, mwebale ddala, nammwe abali ku YouTube, abali ku Facebook, abali ku Twitter, abali ku mikutu gyonna, thank you very much okuba ne She Women today, She Woman show today, okuba nti no mutuzaamu amaanyi. Omukyala asembyeyo, I empathize, nkusaasira naye ng'ate, yes, so by all means, this is the reason why we do this. This is the reason why we do this show. Okuba nti no, we touch at least one person, we change someone's life. Nze okugamba nti no, bw'owuliriza show yaffe nti oddamu amaanyi, ekyo kyokka kye mba njagala okuwulira. When we do these shows, that is the reason why I keep going. That's the reason why I keep going and I keep encouraging and being motivated to come out and speak out. So I am So so when I come with my own show individually, I really want to be really giving time to those people abali heart, abagala okwogera one-on-one, abagala okujja, whatever thing that you want to discuss, a feeling that's holding you back, be it your upbringing, kubanga waita mu kubonaabona kuno, ng'ono omukyala bw'atugambye, the reason okuba nti no yayita mu kubonaabona ng'akula, not having a nurturing environment, it has impacted on her confidence. Okuba nti no ate government nayo yino emubonyaabonya. Kati imagine omuntu ng'akuze nga bamugamba tosobola oli mubi, you believe it until you are that bad, you are not capable. The reason why, so our nurturing environment from home, then no get a community na good enough, then the people from the governance and leadership to tell you you're not good enough, you're only good enough for being a maid, a house manager somewhere in the diaspora, in the Arab world, where you're going through unimaginable treatment, pain, injustices, discrimination, oppression, rape, every sort of evil that you could think about. It has happened. And it happens to those people. Abatafunye good upbringing, abatafunye the role modeling, you can do it. Thankfully, I didn't grow up in that environment, but I empathize. I see how the community, the government has infantilized us. I see how that has impacted on our confidence as a people in Uganda, as a people generally. We lack the confidence to stand up and fight back and say, enough is enough. You will not lead us in this manner. You will not lead us in this way. It is not good enough. We are people that matter. We are people of substance. We're heroines. We need to emancipate ourselves. We need to free ourselves from this, torture, which is very traumatizing. From day one, the leadership is telling us, we the people, we are not good enough. So therefore, we will discriminate against you. We will continue to oppress you. We will deny you every single basic need, including health, social care, and education. We will not give you education, a good enough education, because you don't deserve it. So what are we going to do? We've thought that, okay, we're only good enough for being house managers somewhere in someone else's country. We're good enough to, living a life of, cleaning someone's toilets, cleaning someone's streets, cleaning, someone's behind. It's not bad to care, but it needs to be from a place of that this is your calling. It needs to be your choice. You didn't make that choice because the environment, it took what did that nurturing state. So producer affair, the production team, thank you so much for making the She Show what it is. Most importantly, the women who come here, Irene, Sarah, and those women in the background who are always coming and showing up and contributing to this show. Let's make it what it is, a platform to emancipate ourselves. Thank you so much. May God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Irene, please say your goodbyes.
Next time on the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And for those guys who don't grasp onto English very well, I'm gonna try hit it slowly. And maybe sometimes we'll also mix it in Swahili. I'm Kenyan, so I can speak Swahili vizuri sana. So nitaomba slots zingine tuongea Swahili. Asanteni sana. And I see you guys next time. Bye.